Hello there and welcome to Let's Talk in English. My name is Gabe.
And my name is Esther. Welcome back, Gabe. Gabe is one of the Let's Talk in English teachers we've had for many, many years. And today he's back teaching. Now our topic is language.
And our title is It's Your Call. And yes, Esther, I'm very happy to be back with Let's Talk in English and teaching with you here today. It has been a while, but you know what? I got a phone call recently saying that Garrett would not be able to teach at least for a few days this month, and so I decided I could come in and maybe help out and have some fun here at Let's Talk in English. I took that phone call.
Thank you. Yes, that's a phone call. But today we're going to use the word call in many other ways. Call can be added with another word to mean something else. Gabe, can you help us with today's reading?
Okay, here we go. Learning a language can be frustrating. Sometimes when two little words are put together, they mean something different. Call can mean to say something loudly to someone. Call off means to stop something before it starts. Call for can mean an event requires or is a good time for something. For example, a birthday calls for a party. Call up can mean to contact someone by phone. Call is also used in many idioms. Call it a day means to stop or finish working. It's someone's call means that person will decide something.
Thank you, Gabe. Yes, there are so many ways we can use the word call or call with another word. Now let's go to today's Find It question. Our question is, what was frustrating for James?
What was frustrating for James?
Listen carefully to find the answer. Now here's Sonia with today's keywords.
James 为了一个会议花了很多时间做准备，结果会议居然被取消了。Now the meeting is called off. 片语动词 called off 就是取消。会不会重新安排会议时间呢？ James 也不知道，那要看老板怎么决定了。It's the boss' call. 惯用语 be someone's call 表示取决于某人的决定。Julie 建议他可以打电话问一下老板。You can call up the boss and ask him. 片语动词 call up 就是给谁打电话。忙碌了一天 ，Julie 说该下班了。It's time to call it a day. 惯用语 call it a day 就是收工下班。下班时间到了，而且今天还是星期五，大家可以轻松一下了。Julie 觉得这种时候必须吃些甜食，让人开心一下。That calls for something sweet. 片语动词 call for 就是需要。
Well, that's not good.
What's wrong, James?
I just spent a lot of time preparing a report for a meeting tomorrow. Now the meeting is called off.
I'm sorry. That is frustrating.
Yes, it is. I had other things that I needed to do today.
Will they schedule another meeting?
Probably. But I don't know. It's the boss's call. I'll just wait and see.
Today we're in the office with James and Julie, and something's not going well. James looks at his phone and says, "That's not good."
That's right. He says, well, that's not good. Julie says, what's wrong, James?
Friends, did you find the answer to our Find It question? Our question was, what was frustrating for James?
What was frustrating for James? His meeting was called off.
It was called off. This means they are not going to have the meeting anymore. Now, James spent a lot of time preparing for the meeting and writing a report for the meeting, but now it is canceled. It is no more. It is called off.
That's right. That's a great way to remember called off. Another word for that is canceled.
Yes, and because his meeting is called off, he feels frustrated. If you feel frustrated, it means that you are upset. You're not happy. Something didn't go the way you wanted it to go.
Sometimes we all feel frustrated. There are things in life that can be frustrating. Remember, the things are frustrating and they make us frustrated.
That's right. Now, James had other things that he needed to do. Sonia, can you help us with how to use this word that?
James 说：“我今天还有其他事情必须要做。I had other things that I needed to do today.” 关系代名词 that 所引导的子句是用来修饰 that 前面的名词。我们来看例句 I remembered several tasks that I needed to finish. 我记得有几项工作需要完成。或是 I thought about doing some things that I shouldn't do. 我考虑去做一些不该做的事。
Thank you, Sonia. Now, Julie wants to know if they are going to arrange or schedule another meeting.
James says probably, but I don't know. It's the boss's call. I'll just wait and see. Wait a minute. It's the boss's call? That's today's calendar phrase.
It's the boss's call.
It's the boss's call. 看老板的决定。
Will we have a meeting today?
It's the boss's call.
Will we have coffee?
It's the boss's call.
Will we have donuts?
Ooh, it's the boss's call.
Oh, it's the boss's call. Hello? Yes, sir. A meeting today with coffee and donuts? Okay.
Yay! Good call.
Yeah.
It's the boss's call.
It's the boss's call. 看老板的决定。
It's someone's call. It's the boss's call means the boss is going to decide. If you say, it's my mom's call about what we're going to do on the weekend, it means it's your mom who is going to decide.
Well, maybe you haven't made a decision, the other person hasn't made a decision, and you want to let that person know they can make the decision. Then you can say, hey, I'm okay either way. It's your call.
That's right. That's how we can use this phrase, it's someone's call. Now it's time for us to take a break. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Let's talk in English. 10 minutes every day. That's the way.
Welcome back. Friends, have you ever called off a party or called off an event?
Sometimes you need to, even though you don't want to. Of course, call off means to cancel something, kind of like 取消. And what happened with James was He was supposed to go to a meeting, but the meeting was called off.
Right, so they're not sure what to do next. Let's go to the next part of today's conversation to find out more.
You could call up the boss and ask him.
No, he can call me. He probably doesn't know yet.
Well, anyway, James, it's time to call it a day.
I guess so. It's after 5.
And it's Friday, too. That calls for something sweet. Here, have some chocolate.
Thanks. Chocolate is a good way to finish a day.
Especially a Friday.
Well, Julie gives James an idea. What does she say?
She says, you could call up the boss and ask him. Remember, it's the boss's call for when to reschedule the meeting, but he can call up the boss to ask him.
That's right. If you call up someone, it means you're going to make a telephone call. You're going to call them on the phone or maybe call them through a social media app to ask them what they want to do.
Sometimes you can just say the word call. I'm going to call someone, or you can add the word up. I'm going to call up this person. Well, James says, no, he can call me. He probably doesn't know yet.
Well, Julie tells James that it's time to stop working. She uses the phrase, it's time to call it a day.
Call it a day? Well, it's a day! It's a day! Is that what this means?
Well, if you tell someone it's time to call it a day, it means it's time to end. It's time to finish what you're doing and stop working.
Well, I have an idea. It's time for us to call Sonia and ask her to give us some tips.
Julie 说：“好吧，不管怎么样 ，James， 该是下班的时候了。Well, anyway, James, it's time to call it a day. 副词 anyway， 无论如何，反正，常做谈话中的填充词，作用是结束目前的对话或开启另一个话题，可置于句首或句尾。我们来看例句。I'm not interested in this talk. Anyway, it's time to go. 我对这话题不感兴趣，无论如何，该走了。或是 We can finish the project later. It's time for dinner anyway. 我们可以稍后再完成这个专案，反正也该吃晚餐了。再来练习一句 We won't go to the game. Anyway, we missed the bus. 我们就不去看比赛了，反正我们错过了公车。
Thank you so much, Sonia. Well, what does James say? He says, I guess so. It's after 5 o'clock.
And their work ends at 5 o'clock. It's Friday afternoon, so it's time for them to call it a day and stop working. But Julie says that calls for something sweet.
Something sweet? I love sweet things like candy and ice cream and chocolate. That's what Julie's talking about. She says, here, have some chocolate.
Right. And the phrase call for, it means we should do something about it. We should get some sweets.
That's right. It's the end of the day. It's Friday. Everybody's happy about it being Friday. So let's celebrate. This calls for something sweet.
And chocolate is what they're going to do to celebrate the end of the work day. They're going to call it a day by eating some chocolate.
So James says, thanks. Chocolate is a good way to finish a day. Julie says, especially a Friday. And I agree.
And now it's time for us to review today's keywords.
The first key word is call off. Call off. Do you want to call off the party?
Call for. Call for. A break at work calls for snacks.
Call up. Call up. Are you calling up all your friends?
Call it a day. Call it a day. I'm tired. We should call it a day.
Be someone's call. Be someone's call. What do we do? It's your call. Okay, those are the key words for today. And now,
it's your turn.
The phrasal verbs for today are called off, calls for, call up, call it a day, and is someone's call. Now it's your turn to use them in a sentence. First one, the restaurant and order pizza. That's right. Call up the restaurant and order pizza. Next, the game because of rain. You got it. He called off the game because of rain. Next, getting a puppy or not? Her. Great job. Getting a puppy or not is her call. Next, it's almost 7 o'clock. Let's. Correct. It's almost 7 o'clock. Let's call it a day. Last one. Her good news. Cheers. Good answer. Her good news calls for cheers. I will see you next time for your turn.
Well, that's not good.
What's wrong, James?
I just spent a lot of time preparing a report for a meeting tomorrow. Now the meeting is called off.
I'm sorry. That is frustrating.
Yes, it is. I had other things that I needed to do today.
Will they schedule another meeting?
Probably. But I don't know. It's the boss's call. I'll just wait and see.
You could call up the boss and ask him.
No, he can call me. He probably doesn't know yet.
Well, anyway, James, it's time to call it a day.
I guess so. It's after 5.
And it's Friday, too. That calls for something sweet. Here, have some chocolate.
Thanks. Chocolate is a good way to finish a day.
Especially a Friday.
This homework is too hard. Learning English can be frustrating.
That's true. How can I help you?
I'm learning about the word call.
Call?
Yes, C-A-L-L. What does call mean?
That's easy. You talk loudly to someone.
Oh, like, hey, James!
Yes, but you don't have to yell. I'm right here.
Sorry. So, what does call off mean?
Call off, that means you cancel something.
Oh, that's easy. What about call up?
Ah, you call up someone when you call them on the phone.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's enough studying for now. Let's call it a day.
Good idea. Hey, you finished your homework. This calls for a treat.
Yay! This calls for a banana. Yeah.
Hello and greetings. I'm the Game Master, and you're here for What's the Answer? Today we have a few different questions for you to answer. And in our studio, we have 2 people to answer them. There's Lucy and there's Gerald. Let's go to our first question. When do people call it a day and go home from work? A. Around 1 or 2 p.m. B. Whenever they want. C. When all the work for the year is finished. Or D. Around 5 or 6 p.m. Oh, Lucy, what's your answer?
Okay. Well, you probably can't do everything in just one day, so I'll say D, around 5 or 6 p.m.
Yes, you are right. None of us wants to do a whole year's work in just one day. We go home in the early evening. Let's go to the next question. Is this sentence true or false? Everyone has a boss at their job. Ooh, oh, okay. Gerald, what do you think?
Well, I think that some people have bosses and other people are bosses. So I'll say it's false. It's not true.
Yes, you are right. Some people start their own companies or they're the biggest boss at a company. So they don't have a boss. Here's our last question for today. Can you fill in the blank? When people are feeling sad, eating a sweet brown thing can help. Ooh, Lucy.
Well, I don't think it's meat. How about chocolate?
Ooh, yes. Great job, Lucy. You win today's game. And that's all for today. We'll see you next time on What's the Answer? See you later.
Friends, today we've talked about 5 different ways we can use the word call and another word. Do you remember any of the phrases we said? Gabe, can you help us review one of them?
Yeah, to call for something. That means something needs something else. Maybe it's a birthday. Everybody is happy. We should have a party. We need a party. We could say this birthday calls for a party.
Call for means we need to do something. We need to call for an ending now.
That's right. It's time to call it a day. This is the end of our program here. Thank you so much for joining us here on Let's Talk in English.
Bye-bye.
See you next time.